Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2 is finally here, so let's boost our FPS and lower our input delay by using the best competitive settings, Windows settings, Nvidia settings, low ping settings, and loads more like useful mouse optimizations to give you all a huge advantage heading into the newest season. By the way, tomorrow I'll be releasing the best config settings, so watch out for that. But starting off with the video settings, make sure full screen is selected for zero delay. Resolution, most players use 1920 by 1080 for its high resolution look and best visibility. However, I recommend trying a stretched resolution as you'll get a huge FPS boost as well as bigger looking player models. Right now most pros are using 1720 by 1080, although you can lower this if you want more FPS. To set up a stretched res, you've got 3 different methods which I explain more in this video on screen. However, the easiest way is to literally change these 2 sections inside your game user settings config. VSync, you want that off as it can cause FPS stuttering and screen tearing. Frame rate limit, I like to use either unlimited or match my monitor's refresh rate. So if you use a 360Hz monitor, you want to use 360 FPS in game. Just don't forget to go into the Windows settings and make sure you select the highest hertz for your monitor. As for rendering mode, you want to use performance mode as it provides much clearer visibility as things like grass are removed, which also improves your FPS big time. Brightness, here is what the default 100% looks like. Here is what 50% looks like, and here is what 150 looks like. I really like the default 100% this season, but they're all personal preference. Colorblind modes, here is what the default one looks like, that's off. Here's what Deuteranope looks like, it's obviously way darker and more dingy looking. Here's Protanope, it looks pretty similar but a little bit different. And then we've got Tritanope, which looks way more vibrant. A lot of people will like this one this season. In my opinion though, I like having it off this season, but again, it's personal preference. Oh, and for motion blur, you want this off as it lowers FPS. Graphics quality, make sure the 3D resolution is set to 100%, then turn all of these settings either off or low. For view distance, I recommend using at least medium as this is the minimum view distance you can see items on the floor, although a lot of people do like having this off for the extra FPS. Advanced graphics, I recommend using the Nvidia Reflex low latency setting if you're using a mid-end PC, you want to have it on. If you've got a high-end PC, you might want to use on plus boost, and if you've got a low-end PC, you should actually have this off as you want the most FPS possible. Mouse sensitivity, for the X and Y, I recommend using anything from 6.5% as the lowest to 14% as the highest, with the ADS sense being 30% as the lowest to 80% as the highest, and scope being 80% as the lowest and 100% as the highest. Building and editing sense seem to work the best with both being on the default 100%, while using a mouse DPI of at least 800 and 1000 mouse hertz. This will help prevent any sort of pixel skipping from occurring, which can happen on lower DPIs like 400. Oh, another thing, inside the Windows mouse settings, if you use the default sense as well as have the mouse acceleration turned off, this can benefit you a ton. Trust me, you do not need to use mouse acceleration. Keyboard movement, I recommend using these settings on screen or having it off in this season. Game settings, make sure firstly you are using your local region as you want the lowest ping possible. Combat options, these are all personal preference. Build-in options are as well, but for auto-confirm edits, if you have it off, this means you manually have to confirm each edit, which equals 3 steps in total. Edit auto-confirms the edits for you, which equals 2 steps in total. Reset auto-resets the edit for you, that also takes 2 steps total. And having it on both auto-confirms and resets the edit for you, equaling 2 steps in total. Extra game options, you want the Nvidia highlights turned off for more FPS. You also want to turn off peripheral lighting for more FPS as well. For replays and energy saving, I recommend having all of these settings off to get even more FPS, especially the energy saving options at the bottom. HUD settings, the reticle ammo indicator adds a visual ammo counter, whereas having it off shows nothing. Damage numbers, list will manually list the damage dealt, whereas cumulative will automatically add it up for you. Reticle damage feedback adds these icons to showcase the type of enemy. Hit only adds a hit marker, and off will show none of that feedback. And you've got the rest of the HUD options right here. I like to use a HUD scale of 80 as well as these settings on screen, as these can really clean up your HUD so it's no longer cluttered and messy. Audio settings, I highly recommend using the high quality setting if you have got a decent modern headset. Although if you've got a lower end PC and a low quality headset, you might want to use lower as this setting can apparently decrease performance slightly. Also make sure you are using visualized sound effects as it's what every pro is using for good reason. button. It's basically a visual sound indicator that points you to different things happening in game, like footsteps of enemies and stuff like that. Keybinds, for these you want to set them up to be the most optimal. Here are 2 examples you can configure. I recommend using either set 1, where wall is on X, floor is on V, stairs is on C, and roof is on left shift. And then you've got set 2, which is mouse button 5 on the wall, floor on V, stairs on mouse button 4, and roof on left shift. Just try out either one of these sets and optimize them to feel what's best for you. Adjusting your actuation point to the lowest one possible will give you the fastest input. That's why most pros are doing this, as the lower the value is, the more sensitive the key press will be, and the higher the value is, the less sensitive the key press will be. Next, we've got the best Nvidia settings. Now, straight away, I recommend using the latest driver. It's something Epic Games themselves recommend. Simply head into this driver section right here, and then this is where you'll see the latest game ready driver. And what's cool about this Nvidia app is if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see exactly what's been changed in this latest driver. You've got what's new, and this obviously changes with every different driver. And then you've got my favorite thing, which is what's fixed. This can feature a range of different fixes to crash fixes, bugs, and just so much more. It's just really handy to have. Then you've also got learn more, where you can obviously learn more about the driver. Alternatively, you can use an older driver like any of these legendary ones on screen. After that though, if you open up the Nvidia app, which is currently still in beta, head over to the graphics section, then select the game of choice. Obviously we're going to use this one. Now you can press this button here to optimize it, but I don't like to do this. Instead, I go into global settings and I customize it like this on screen. As you can see, I've got the RTX dynamic vibrance off, I've got image scaling off, I've got low latency mode on currently, although you can use ultra if you want lower latency. Max frame rate I've got off. Monitor technology, I use G-Sync. You should too if you've actually got it on your monitors like technology. If not, just click fixed refresh. Power management, I currently have this on normal as it works best on my PC, but if you do want more FPS, you might find that prefer maximum performance will be better for you. And for the rest of the settings, I've got them just like this on screen. Next, you want to head into the Nvidia control panel, go into manage 3D settings, and you want to copy all of my settings that are set up in this video on screen in the manage 3D section. Then finally go into adjust desktop size and position, select your main gaming monitor, then select full screen and make sure a GPU is selected with the highest refresh rate possible. Next, we've got the best Windows settings. Inside the control panel under the privacy setting, you want to uncheck all 4 of these right here. Then if you go into the background applications, you want to simply uncheck all these and stop them from running in the background. After that, in the advanced system settings, go under performance, then under visual effects, you want to adjust for best performance and then tick these essential settings on screen. After that, I like to go into the device manager under high precision event timer, and some people say that if you disable this, it can boost your FPS. It's something you should try, and if not, just re-enable it. I also like to go into the run box and type in temp. I then like to select all of these and simply delete them. I do this again with percentage sign, temp percentage sign, and yet again with prefetch. Also, while the game is running, I press Ctrl Alt Delete, go into the task manager, and then find Fortnite, right click on it, go to details, then right click on the top exe, set the priority from the default normal to high. You'll notice as well in the task manager, if you look at the very bottom, you'll see uptime. To your surprise, the uptime may be very high, like some of these examples are on screen, like some are just ridiculous. And this is because of a fast start feature, which has become quite the meme. So to fix this, head into power options, click change settings that are unavailable, and simply uncheck this option. Now when you shut down your PC will fully shut down and the uptimer will be reset. Oh, if you go into gaming too, specifically under the game bar, you want to ensure that that is turned off, as it can give you micro stutters. As well, in the search, if you type in power plan, click edit power plan, then change advanced settings, you'll notice by default it's on a normal power plan. Instead, you want to change that to high performance, which as you can imagine will make it perform at a higher level. Next, we've got the best network settings. Straight away, you want to update your network drivers to make sure these are the latest ones available. Then want to go into your network settings and basically set them up like I've got on screen. These are essentially the best network settings you can use. Just make sure to copy one for one what I'm using on screen right now. After that, you can use the lowest ping DNS server, which Epic Games themselves recommend. Just go into your network settings as shown on screen. Then in the DNS section where you put the address, you can put in a custom one. And to find out which one is the best one for you, you can use DNS benchmark, or you can type in this command on screen inside the CMD. And that right there is the best competitive settings in Chapter 5 Season 2. Please drop a like if it helps out. Also subscribe to the channel, and finally use my code in the item shop to support me. Oh, and before you go, check out any of my other videos that are on screen right now.